Hello, everybody, and welcome to my backyard, and welcome to another Family Outreach Worker Fridays. Today I'm trying to follow some good advice and get out and get at least 15 minutes of sunshine on my face, which has been shown to improve levels of vitamin E, which has also been shown to improve mood. So good advice for everybody. Today what I wanted to talk about was something that's not getting talked about a whole lot. It's sadness and grief. Everyone's given advice on how to get through these tough times, these unprecedented times, but it's still not normal. It's still not the way it was. So there's bound to be a little bit of sadness or even some grief over the loss of our kind of normal lives. Let me give you an example. Those of you who know me, it's the Easter break coming up. It's the Friday before Easter break. Feels weird going away from school when we haven't had normal school. But normally what we would be doing is today I'd be packing up the family and heading to the mountains and skiing with my family for the week. Well, that all changed 2 weeks ago when they shut the mountain down. So I've lost that, and that makes me sad. And I can grieve over the loss of what would have been good times with my family. Other people might be grieving over the loss of their normal life. Some people have lost jobs or lost their source of income, or aren't able to be near family and friends right now. So we're allowed to kind of be sad about the loss of that normalcy that we used to have. Because let's face it, a month ago the world was normal, and now it's just not. And that's okay. It's okay to be upset. But I think what you need to do is you need to temper that sadness with something. Now, I was kind of looking for a definition of temper, and to act as a neutralizing or counterbalancing agent for something. And that seemed like a really good definition for me. And the example I can use is when you're making custard. You can tell I like to eat, so I kind of cook. When you're making custard, you take eggs, and you take hot milk and sugar, and if you just chuck the eggs into the milk and the sugar, you get milk and scrambled eggs, which when you were expecting custard isn't very good. But what you do is you take a little bit of the hot milk and you put it in the eggs and you mix that in together, and then you slowly pour those eggs into the milk and you get a beautiful custard, and you add a little bit of vanilla and it's fantastic. That's kind of the way it is here. So we can take this sadness, but we've got to mix it with something. So the two things that I would suggest you mix it with are gratitude and benevolence. One of the things that I kind of mix with my missing of my family vacation, and for those of you who know, my trips to Panorama are kind of sacred. Mr. Todd loves him some powder. But what I mix that with is the fact that my family are all safe and secure and healthy right now, and I know they're okay. I've got a warm house and a beautiful day here. So these are some of the things that I'm grateful for. It seems like no matter how hard things get, we can always find something to be grateful for. And in that way, I'm just tempering the sadness of my loss of normalcy with the things that I have that still keep me going. One of the other things that's really important, I think, is benevolence. You might have seen a picture on our Facebook page. We, as a school, sent out a bunch of hampers. Just a token, a little something, a Christmas ham and some gift cards for families that could use them. You know what I mean? And that has put me in a good mood all day long. Especially when there's such bad news on the news, it's nice to have that. They did a study and they showed that if you do something for someone else, it lasts 2 to 3 times longer than if you do something nice. For example, if you found $20 on the sidewalk and had lunch, you'd say, hey, that was pretty cool. But if you found $20 on the sidewalk and took a friend to lunch, you're going to remember that for a longer time. So gratitude is one thing, and benevolence is like gratitude plus. So try and find those things that you can do for other people. And it might not be ham. It might be, shoveling someone's walk, checking in on something, just doing something that they can't. So by tempering that sadness with benevolence and gratitude, we're going to get through this. But I want to make an important distinction. Sadness and grief are okay. They're expected. They're a normal part of it. I'm not talking about, mental health disorders or anxiety or depression. A really smart alumni talked to me this week, and she was talking to me and said that mental health disorders thrive in solitude. And there's a lot of people that are alone right now. So I want to make sure that, my core message is always going to be, it's still okay to not be okay. If the sadness or the grief becomes too much and you don't have enough gratitude or benevolence to temper it with, please reach out. Please talk to someone. A lot of the teachers might be not as available over the holidays, but there are, kids helpful in the 24-hour helplines. I'm not going to check my email every day, but I will check. So if you are struggling, reach out, because it's still okay to not be okay. At the beginning of this Easter break, I hope everyone takes this time to do something for yourself. Hug your family, because they're the only people I'm allowed to hug right now. Hopefully that'll change, but until it does, happy Easter. Stay safe, stay healthy.